Sagittarius, have you noticed how you attract a very interesting relationship with kids? Notice how kids interact with you, especially kids under the ages of 6, that time period. And then I want you to keep those people in mind, or the kids in mind, and then think about the old people. Notice how kids and old people gravitate to you. And for some odd reason, they always interact with you. Whether it is a random person you bump into in the mall, especially with old people, they come straight up to you or they're standing behind you and they just start talking to you, unpacking, telling you things. And it's weird because as soon as the old person talks to you, you go straight into your nervous system, safety, and you feel like a child. And you kind of go like, very soft in your nature, and you smile so easily. And it doesn't have to be your grandparents, but even your connection to your grandparents. And I do believe that it's very rare that a Sagittarius person, if you're born with the Sagittarius energy, it's unlikely for you to have both experiences with both sides of the family, like the paternal grandparents and the maternal grandparents. It's normally the maternal grandparents or either one that dominates. But I do believe that when you're born with the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, you have a higher probability to have an established connection to some form of elders around you. And equally so, the same measure with kids. Kids will feel very, very comfortable with you and talk the most honest conversations and express their most honest thoughts about things and tell you. And you, again, just like the old people, go extremely soft around these individuals. But I want to share with you why. And then it goes deeper, because there's also the aspect of just random people bumping into you, or people sharing very personal things with you that you didn't ask them. Sometimes it's people outside of your mind's construct that you would never imagine would share things with you, but yet they're sharing things with you. You sitting there and your boss is telling you some things and you're like, damn, Cheryl, yes, I didn't know we were that close. But it seems like you are just... Which is hilarious, because Sagittarius, you are prone to secrecy. Sagittarius will know what's happening because people tell them in everyone's lives. Maybe sometimes they even feel it intuitively, but they won't go endeavor and, force the issue. They'll just know it. But yeah, goodness gracious, a Sagittarius is not going to open up the way people open up to a Sagittarius. But I want you to think about something here, Sagittarius. Why do these people come to you? Why do these moments happen with you? They can happen with anyone. But why do you think it's you? What energy do you think you possess that I've been going on about in this whole series? If you're only watching this video, go watch the whole series. I've been telling you that you're born under a very unique energy. One which permeates and also gets validated by two of the most sensitive, energetic energies that our human experiences go through, or our human experience goes through, which is the first 6 years of being on this planet, which means we are closer to the point of coming from spirit, and the last 6 years, or let's just say going into the latter years of your human experience, those human beings are closer to going home, back home to spirit. You are one who walks with spirit always, Sagittarius. Whether you are in the back of a car with a guy who you're attracted to because he's just got an edge, you still are divinely guided. And I don't know how many of you, especially in your youth, you have been saved from scenarios where if it went here, you wouldn't be here. Especially when it comes to driving in a car that you are not driving and you in the back seat, and it's like one of those moments where someone's driving and you just getting in and nearly an accident type of a thing happen, and there's always this divinity that's within you. So I only share that experience so that you know that divinity doesn't, judge whether you in your traumatic I'm learning phase, youthful phase, no better phase. You always kind of divinely on. It's always on. And it's all about the evolutionary process that you're going through, in just realizing that there's always a connection there. In knowing this is why in the most darkest days, the most random interactions with someone that just smiles with you, lights up, and helps you for a moment at least forget about whatever you were going through. Because I know you like going through your mental health by yourself. As if mental health is a DIY project again. Listen here, mental health is like a person who sleeps with everyone. I think most humans go through this. It's not about keeping it to yourself and having this wonderful relationship with secrecy, Sagittarius. I admire you for how much you keep to yourself, but goodness gracious, I'm showing you that you can't keep much if I'm just giving details here. You get what I'm saying? So at some point, it's okay to let the burden off, especially in understanding that you are stomach empaths, meaning that a lot of your identity, especially based on how Sagittarius you are, is embedded in the solar plexus. So in your spiritual essence, in the vibration that makes you up, a lot of it has to do with how the stomach is, coming through as an energetic source of inspiration. And what's nice about the stomach is that this is where the creativity stems from, which is why you guys show up very uniquely in how you dress. When it comes to your music, you will always have like a kaleidoscope of music. You're not just one-dimensional in your music. If you ever want to listen to a range of music, an ear that doesn't discriminate, but also an ear that is highly sensitive, in the same empathic way, the Sagittarius listens to music with their stomach, and that's why it's like a godly experience for them, especially when they get into their spiritual Sundays or those deep neo souls. Ooh, a wonderful neo soul watch. They're all gonna share their songs in the comment section. I want you to see how many of you all like the same bloody song, or the theme, but they have a unique connection nonetheless. And it's again because for once we are tapping into the sensitivity that normally gets used by overstimulation in places and people. When we come into those personal practices of listening to music, connecting to our creativity, alchemizing, yoga, you know how deep you go, and you know how wonderful that feels. So the idea is to nurture that consistently and come into an understanding of how sensitive you are, but also come into an understanding of how the world validates the unique intuitive nature, especially these two aspects of human experience, kids and old people. If I were your teacher, if I were your guide, and I know you guys would make use of that, I would really suggest, and don't even let me get started with you guys and the small dogs. Sagittarius likes dogs that not everybody likes, and they have a very unique connection to the dogs. I don't think they have a thing for big dogs, but it's more the personality and the energy of the dog. So if there's an empathic energy to the dog, they're soft. But the weirder the dog as well, or it's like Sagittarius has an eye that finds sometimes what others view ugly or like not attractive. Their eye don't see that. They think it's cute. Go look at some of the Sagittarius' friends, It's just like their dog interest. Some Sagittarius like dogs that I'm like, nah, that dog ain't nice, but you a Sagittarius, so of course you're gonna think that's cute. So I hope you enjoy this video, but I also hope it kind of shed light into an area that hopefully in a positive way regulates you, calls you out, and helps you also understand that you don't live on this world alone and in the secrecy and privacy of your mind. I don't know if I've shared it before, but I'm a mystic. So whenever you wonder, how do I know what I know that it's only because I read energy pretty well, and it's something that's a passion of mine. It's what I've been born with, and it's very innate. It's not like I come from an astrological background at all. I just use astrology to illustrate how I know what I know about you. You a sample of a whole energy. And when you understand that you are a sample of something dominant that plays as a coexisting participant in what makes up our day-to-day reality, there's such potential in the wholesale energy of this Sagittarius zodiac sign that does not get unpacked in astrology. So you're not going to find this kind of content there. I'm not an astrologer. I'm a little bit of an enigma. I myself am still learning the journey of my potential and how far I can go. But what I share with you is very kind of like personal connections to, like, for example, how a Sagittarius loves a bed. Ooh, you love a cozy bed. Ooh, you can cozy up in that bed and just put your chocolates in your cabinet. Happy times, happy times, happy times, happy times. I just want you to know that you're not alone in the way you experience Sagittarius, and sometimes it's okay to be seen. And as long as you allow yourself in safety to be seen in places that make you feel safe, then, regulation happens a lot more positively and when it needs to happen, so that you don't end up with those headaches. You don't eat sugar because of nurturing